A new report came out saying that the Anaheim Ducks are only willing to pay Trevor Zegras up to $4 million per year. And that gives a golden opportunity to Kent Hughes and the Habs to step in and reunite him with his best buddy Cole Caufield. We'll be diving into these incredible, insane trade possibilities for Trevor Zegras, plus another review of the Habs prospect scrimmages, who stood out, who didn't stand out, all that and more on this edition of Habs Digest. But before we get into the video, we are proud once again to announce today's sponsor, Rentals.ca. Jesse, Rentals.ca is Canada's #1 and largest apartment hunting network. You can find condos, apartments, houses, whatever you want.
Across the country, coast to coast, Rentals.ca has you covered, whether it's Ottawa, Calgary, Montreal. They got you completely covered. Their website's super clean, easy to use. I really like their maps. You can definitely just look for the neighborhood of your liking, as you see right there, and find great listings available.
Yeah, for sure. And it's very functional, like you said, very, very easy to use. It's something that I have used, Jesse, as a lot of the loyal viewers know. We love Rentals.ca. It's something we actually use. We don't mind promoting it because, again, we've used it ourselves and we hope you guys use it too. You've probably seen their billboards everywhere, whatever city you're in. You've seen these big blue Rentals.ca billboards, and hey, they got you covered because they know they are the place for any house, condo, apartment. So if you are looking for your next home, Rentals.ca has you covered. Click the link down below. Let them know that we sent you. Jesse, let's dive into some of these prospects today. The Habs scrimmages continue to impress. There were a lot of notable prospect moments today, but I wanted to start with the guy that had a hat trick, and that's Jared Davidson, the #1 most searched player on Hockey DB today. He had a great hat trick, getting a chance, as you can see, to play with Caufield and Suzuki. Heineman didn't look so good with him, Jesse, but Jared Davidson decided to step up his game and try and make a case for him to be definitely a high-up player in Laval this year.
Definitely showing some very silky smooth hands, and obviously like just getting an opportunity to play with Cole Caufield and Nick Suzuki, he really responded to that right away. So obviously that has to feel great for his confidence and really just to get on the radar a little bit more, not just with the Habs, as you said, but for the whole organization, right? You have to feel like this is huge for him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think he's super happy. You can see, if you watch that full clip there, he's trying to hide his smile, and as you would, right? The guy, the WHL guy, later round draft pick. No one really expects much of him, and he comes in and lights it up with a hat trick. Awesome moment for him. But we got a couple other guys to talk about. Jesse, Logan Mailloux continues to impress after his slow start at the prospect camp, and in these Habs scrimmages. Also, his first game wasn't that great. He has looked phenomenal since then. He looks like a different player, a guy who really knows when to jump into the rush. A great goal and a tic-tac-toe with Josh Anderson today. I mean, he's just been a whole new player, it seems.
Yeah, and you have to feel like when you're a young player and you're coming into an NHL training camp, a prospect camp, that growing pains, it's kind of the name of the game, right? It's almost to be expected, right? So we never want to kind of make rash decisions on players just based off of kind of one game, because as you mentioned, after that, even just his 2 prospect games, he was getting so many chances. Like, how many posts did he hit, Josh? Right?
I lost count.
Right, like I'm just happy to see his luck kind of turn now, here in when it really kind of matters, in here these intra-squad scrimmages and everything else. And again, just showing that ability to anticipate the play, jump. That's the name of the game for him, right? And that's such a big part of the NHL. Is almost every play, it seems like there's a function for the D-men to activate in that. He seems to be a player that could fill that function. So obviously, he gives the Montreal Canadiens, he gives himself a good chance to make the Montreal Canadiens by playing like that.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I actually would say he might not even have been their best right-handed D-men today, although it's close. Justin Barron showed out again today, looking like just dominant all over the ice. Mike Matheson, too, but there's a couple other guys we wanted to touch on before we dive into the Zegras stuff, and the first one, Slafkovsky, who continues to play with Newhook and Anderson. While Slafkovsky certainly, it's not his style of play to play at this super fast pace with Newhook and Anderson. However, even with that case, Jesse, this line's forming a lot of chemistry. Newhook and Anderson for sure are going to start the season together. It's crazy how well they work together. And Slav was hitting him for the right outlet passes. I feel like he was doing well. And also David Reinbacher, as Coach Marty said, the IQ for a player of his age is really off the charts. They're both kind of just starting to do the little things right. And I feel like that's exactly what we wanted to see from this camp.
It's very true. And, in the past, we've seen Juraj Slafkovsky have some good chemistry with Sean Monahan, but now we're starting to see it a little bit with Newhook and Anderson as well. So that is huge for Slafkovsky. He can really find that chemistry and really kind of help to further unlock his game. And again, finding these other people that he can play with, it gives him that opportunity to go up and down the lineup, kind of depending on his play and where we're at and everything else. So I really like seeing that. Another thing I liked from his goal that he scored in one of the scrimmages today was just his ability to anticipate the play. And he realized, okay, the play is going to be driven towards the net here. I'm going to stay there, getting your stick down on the ice and burying home that rebound.
First
and
goal,
what
baby.
I really like is that would be a great spot for him to play, right? Not only like going to the front of the net, but staying there and playing there. Like he could be a real nuisance for goalies, even kind of, getting even closer there. So I really like, what we're seeing from him. I think he's kind of shaking off the rust, slowly kind of quickening up the pace a little bit. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, it was an awesome day again watching these scrimmages. So fun to see these guys. Just you can taste the hockey just a few days away from the preseason. Cannot wait. But oh man, Jesse, we got to get into this big topic today. So look, there were lots of things. I'm sure you guys, if you're looking around, you're seeing a lot of rumors about the Habs maybe trading for Trevor Zegras. I saw it on the Reddit today. People saying, well, one guy said he was on the market, which is just not necessarily true. The Ducks haven't said that. However, there is a lot of speculation in Habs land because according to Renaud Lavoie, of course, a Quebec-based reporter, the Anaheim Ducks, not the Habs, sorry, I'm connecting them in my head already, are reportedly only offering Trevor Zegras in the $3 to $4 million AAV range, and Zegras is not happy with that. He changed his profile picture on Instagram. I know you're probably not going to read too much into this, as you shouldn't. However, Trevor Zegras changed his profile picture on Instagram to one of him wearing a blindfold covering his ears instead of him wearing a Ducks jersey. But Jesse, there's already that connection. This is from 2019. Happy birthday to my best buddy, Mr. Cole. Look at baby Caufield and baby Zegras together. And they were together this offseason too, Jesse. Every single year they're together. They're best buds. Do you think there's a world where Kent Hughes makes a shot at Trevor Zegras? Because he didn't report to camp because he doesn't have a contract. He's an RFA without a contract heading into this season. And I just feel like this is the Kent Hughes special. Another 2019 draft guy. Am I exciting myself too much already? Maybe I am.
Honestly, you always need to pay attention to these situations because you never know when it's going to come up. Kent Hughes might have a plan where he wants to spend, next summer, kind of free agency, but you really need to be open. It's a fluid situation as they come. And as Marty would say, you need to play that game that's really in front of you. So, of course, Kent Hughes, he loves those young star American players, which Trevor Zegras definitely fits all those. And again, having that amazing chemistry with Cole Caufield, it's, I know obviously Nick and Cole play so good together. I just imagine a world even where like Zegras was, even if he went to wing, I know he's better as a center and everything else, but you just couldn't help thinking of Suzuki, Zegras, Caufield all on a line. We've seen some teams in the past, if you have one phenomenally good line that has chemistry, you can do a lot with that, right? Of course, he has a lot of value as a centerman if he did kind of come to Montreal, but you really need to look at all options in this situation, right? There are rumors that the Buffalo Sabres are looking after him. Like it's a potential that something could happen. He's not at camp right now. And in my opinion, the Ducks really aren't treating somebody who they should be building their team around. It kind of shows how the Canadiens are doing it right. We're building our team around our young stars, whereas with the Ducks, not only him, but Drysdale as well, that don't have those contracts right now, which for me is a little bit shocking, right? So it's a really good way to alienate a player. And of course, that chemistry that, with Caufield is very evident. And we're building a culture where it's about togetherness and, really getting along and everything else like that chemistry, right? So he does seem like a fit in a lot of ways. And it's definitely curious to think about what we would need to do to make that happen.
Yeah, well, we'll dive into that a bit, but you're right. I mean, Pat Verbeek, I think he's an Yzerman disciple, right? And so like he's kind of coming in here trying to play hardball, trying to get these guys for lower contracts. And I'm sure Zegras changed his profile picture. His agent was like, hey, make it seem like you want to leave so that we can get some more money. And I saw some people saying one thing about offer sheets. Just wanted to dispel that real quick. An offer sheet might do something. However, the compensation for, let's say, between 7 and 8 mil for Zegras would be about a first, a second, and a third round pick. And he would fetch more for that in a trade. So the Ducks would probably just match whatever contract unless the team signed him to something absurd. You'd have to pay more than what that is to actually acquire him. So the offer sheet I don't think would work out quite well. But Jesse, look, he's a 65-point player in 81 games. He's 22 years old. He's not even going to be 23 until March, until the end of the season. This guy is young. He's one of the faces of the NHL, was on the NHL video game cover last year. I feel like the Anaheim Ducks at this stage in their rebuild or whatever they're doing, they still have Mason McTavish, they still have Drysdale, hopefully if they sign him too. They're going to want some NHL level talent if they're trading away Trevor Zegras. Like a couple picks and some prospects that might not make the NHL is not going to do it. And I feel like if Kent Hughes is calling Pat Verbeek and he's like, hey, I want Trevor Zegras, they're probably starting with, all right, give me Slafkovsky or Kirby Dach. And well, they're probably starting with someone like Suzuki or Caufield, and Kent will talk him down. But like probably Slafkovsky or Dach is the starting point for Zegras. Do you think that's a bit too ridiculous, or do you think that the Habs could potentially go for that?
It's a lot, but I think that that's definitely where it starts. Just the question is, if you're in a rebuild, do you still want to give away those high picks that would definitely probably have to be considered as part of that, right? Are we coming out of our rebuild too quick? As we know, Kent Hughes, he's wanted to be patient with this and really take a measured approach, which I feel like he probably will do. But, you know, you got to kick the tires. You got to see what's going on here. But obviously, Kirby Dach is so beloved by the Habs fans. We don't want to be too hasty with Juraj Slafkovsky, but we're dealing with an electrifying player with a team that really needs goal scoring. You know, he seems, you know, putting up those points on a bad Anaheim team. I just imagine what he could really do on a Montreal team on the upswing. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, Josh, I'm completely torn on it.
Yeah, I am too. Like, the idea of trading Dach or Slav is insane. However, Zegras is a known quantity. He looks to be a certain point per game player in his NHL career, at least we hope. He's done what he's done on a bad Ducks team, and he's only 22 years old. Slav, as much as we love him, and as much as he really could end up being fantastic, he's 19, and we're still not sure. Trading that you know, the fact that someone is a known quantity and has produced at the NHL is worth a lot. But I saw some things, Jesse. Someone saying that the Habs got so many picks for Pitlick and Hoffman. Do you think just firing a full draft's worth of picks, like picks rounds 1 through 7, plus a couple of their prospects, someone like a Meshar and a Farrell, or even you throw in, like, I don't know, a young forward, do you think that might get it done? Or do you think the Ducks would still want, say, you know, Dach or Slav or bust?
Right. It'd probably be Slav or Dach or bust for sure in that situation. I think most likely all signs are pointing to kind of next summer in free agency. But I mean, you definitely have to be considering all options in this type of very fluid situation.
It's very exciting nonetheless. But that'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. Let us know what you think of these rumors down in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. We appreciate all the support. We're on the road to 10K subs. If you could hit the button if you haven't already and you're still here, we'd love it. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.